Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome on into the swear word. I'm your host, Brandon Swear, and hey, this is a podcast for the Chiliad community by the Chiliad community. Regardless of your spice tolerance, this is the place for you. Up tonight, we have an amazing episode. We are going to be talking about the League of Fire competitions that are happening starting Friday. Then there's another Saturday. It's going to be an absolute blast. Episode 142 starts now. What's going on, Swear Nation? So glad to have everyone here. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, or Apple Podcasts, thank you so much for being here and continuing to make this podcast what it is. Thank you so much for all those that have recently found the podcast. And I am so thrilled to be able to hear that the overall information and breakdowns and interviews have been greatly beneficial and enjoyable for everyone. I continue to have new things in the pipeline. So get ready as things are going to start being added slowly here. But let's do this up tonight. We're going to be discussing, well, tomorrow is going to be a League of Fire first for the Houston belt match. So this is going to be the first ever Houston belt match League of Fire competition. And I'm looking forward to it as I will be on the stage competing as well. And from there, we will have, some great discussions about the other events that are happening on Saturday. So we're going to be diving into that with Paul of League of Fire, and we're going to be really uncovering events throughout the weekend. So let's go ahead and kick on over to tonight's episode. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
Hello, yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you back. And of course, this is a very pivotal and very fun occasion here. We got different League of Fire events going on this weekend alone. Wild and bonkers to think. Not to mention, you have landed in Houston and have been enjoying our nice, cool, and refreshing weather.
Yeah, it's lovely here. It's lovely and fresh and cold, because I'm from the northern, like near the Arctic Circle in England, if you think about it, and I like the cold, and here's perfect, nice and cold. Did I mention that it's really cold here? It's very cold.
Yep.
It's beautifully cold in Houston, fresh and cold.
It is one of those rare anomalies where it's a borderline blizzard out there. I don't know what to do with myself, but all jokes aside, I know that it's been definitely a fun, entry in. It's been extremely eventful in many different ways for y'all since y'all have been here. But overall, I guess what's the initial thoughts? Are you more amped about the events? Have you had a chance to really be able to explore and have fun, or how's that kind of worked out for you?
Oh, you know what? This is the first time we've been in Houston, and let me just tell you something. It's really hot here, okay? Really hot. Just in case people didn't get the joke, it's so hot that Brandon already knows. I'm struggling, right? I'm melting. So after coming off the plane and it feels like you're walking into an oven, right? It's that hot. And the thing is, you look out the window and it all looks really green. You're thinking, that's like our green and pleasant land in England, nice and fresh and crisp, nice little hoodie on, maybe sometimes a little scarf just to keep the neck warm. I came out of that aeroplane and it was like, so I came out, and then that's when you're in America, you're in the South. This is beautiful, and we've had a little drive around. We had a little bit of a drama. All the belts were not on the. You come off the aeroplane. We got 4 suitcases that we checked in, because they let us check the little ones in, which normally you take on the plane. So they're all checked in, and 3 come out, and the last one's not there, and everyone's gone, and we're like, right, something's happening here. Turns out that one of them was still in London, and that was the one with all the belts in. All the belts. Man. Not just that, but cameras and little things like the flags and the banners, all the festival stuff, you put it all in there. So, we had to, it caught us out a little bit, because obviously we probably would have spent a bit more time. We actually had a plan to go and see Troy, because I feel like we're so close yet so far, you know, and I still haven't met his kids. I still haven't met his family. So we thought, what is it, 3-4 hours? We'll drive down to Lafayette, spend a few hours with him and come back. Well, we had to put that on ice, which was a shame, just because we had to wait around and then get, you know, make sure we were local to pick up the suitcase from George Bush International Airport. So, yeah, but, you know, everything's been positive except for that. You know, what I was just saying to you earlier off camera, when you're in America, it's like the people are just so friendly. You know, you go out and get a coffee in the old the gas station, or you might stop for a bagel or whatever, you know, and they just talk to you. They're like, "Wow, you're from London, or you're from Europe, and we hope you feel welcome here." And they treat when you go to it's like that everywhere in America, by the way. But I've noticed it in Houston. You know, like it's almost as if you're going into their house, and they want you to walk out thinking how, you know, that's a lovely house. Everyone in that house is so friendly. So, you know, this is probably the best thing about America. I can take the heat. I'll
Yeah.
put up with the heat because of the people.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a true experience of the Southern hospitality. Ultimately, you know, there's that whole caveat, though. You know, there's the given Southern hospitality that is natural and common occurrence, but also, you know, definitely in Texas, it seems to be more so. But most of the South is kind of this way. Very quick as well if things are agitating to completely escalate, and it's like a light switch goes off, right? So yes, and while the Southern hospitality is phenomenal, it's always one of those occasions whenever you see someone no longer being, you know, kind, whether that's directly at you or someone else. That's when you want to remove yourself from that situation because,
Yeah.
you know, we're a little bit hot-headed, as you can tell by the heat there. Obviously, your shirt now is no longer pink; it's now gone back blue. So I'm glad that you finally cooled down and you got those fancy temperature-changing shirts. So.
Yeah, we had these in the 90s. I don't know if anyone remembers back to the 90s. They were a big thing. So now you can see I wasn't lying. It's actually, it's black, this one. I think I went colorblind as well because of the heat. So, yeah, it was a black shirt, went pink. Now it's gone back to black. So I'm in the hotel now and there's a bit of aircon. I'm actually out in the lobby because poor Shenna, she's in the hotel room. She's on the laptop, even though we're here in Houston. And there's just so much work to do, you know, like I don't think a lot of people realize what goes on behind the scenes. And it's quite interesting, actually, because you mentioned then in the intro, we're here just this one weekend, there's 2 festivals. And we're going to be going to both of them because luckily one's on the Friday and that gives us Saturday to fly up. And then we'll be in Terre Haute in Indiana. And it's pronounced Terre Haute, right? We don't want to pronounce it Hort or Hout. It's Hoot, right? So that's in the Wabash Valley Hot Sauce and Chili Pepper Festival Expo. First one ever. And then this one is because I've traveled a lot, my brain's gone a bit, it's left in customs. It's something to do with space. But,
Yep.
you know, we're in Houston, right? So
Yep.
Spicy Dada. Let's go with Spicy Dada, a hot sauce expo. And this is at the Social Beer Garden. These 2, just this one weekend, you know? And just to go back to what I was initially saying, it just goes to show you how what's happening is you're working for all these different festivals. In Europe, we've got the European title next weekend. We had the Italian one last weekend. We've got Pittsburgh coming up as well. And then obviously Blaze for the Brave. And what it is we're one central kind of team, Matt, Shahina and me. And then you've got lots and lots of festivals and we're kind of doing things for everyone. So if you can imagine, and each one of those festivals, they all want, and correctly so, Class A, top-notch, 100%, 24-carat service, right?
Yep.
We need to do the best job we can for each one. So just to give you, you know, just giving you a little reason, this is why I'm in the lobby now, because in that hotel room, that is like a hive of activity. Shenna's on the keyboard, bang, 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 bang. And if I'm shouting in her ear hole, it might hinder her progress. So that's why, yeah. But it's busy, but it's fun. I wouldn't change it for the world. But I love it. And if I'm not busy, if I'm not out of my comfort zone, I think the same for Shenna and Matt. I said something to a friend of mine the other day, Darina, the spicy princess in Bulgaria, and she's just been on TV there. We met her last year, and she's come up, and now she's been on Bulgarian TV. And I said to her in a private message, I said, you know what? I'm not a wise man, And I hate all these quotes and things. A lot of time people read quotes and then they like pretend they're theirs and they're like, oh, look at me, I'm Mr. All Wisdom. But I'm no wise man. But one thing I will say in life, you have to stay out of your comfort zone and you have to do things that make you nervous. And that's exactly what we're doing.
Very,
That's about it, really.
yeah,
I went off a bit then, didn't I?
no. Very well said. And then, like, to that point, like, that's something that I was wanting to point out. I know that we briefly talked about it as well on the last time that you were on with Matt and really being able to dive into this all. But for those that are watching now, maybe for the first time and really getting an understanding, this isn't all you do 24/7. You have other things to juggle going on as well in your day-to-day life, both with work, with family, everything. Just all this compounded, and the level of caliber that y'all have been able to obtain, and the overall focus. I mean, you don't put something out just to slap it together and hope for the best. No, y'all are very meticulous in how you fine tune everything from the branding, the promo, the event itself. And so I definitely applaud y'all in that. Y'all are definitely blazing the trail in this overall path. Nod to Blaze for the Brave, later on, the pinnacle to be at. If everyone is watching and listening and wanting to check that out, that is going to be happening in October, and you're definitely going to want to check that out. So yeah, it's a great thing to see y'all's devotion, care, and passion just pour out into it. And it's awesome to see. I don't know how y'all do it. Y'all are, superheroes. That's the only thing you have to chalk this up as.
Yeah, you know what the scariest thing is when you actually you miss something. I know it probably sounds ridiculous, but sometimes there might just be someone that did an amazing challenge or a great push there, or they got a world record or something happened, and you just miss it, and you're not there on social media in the comments just to say, well done, that was amazing. And sometimes you feel like you hurt their feelings or something like that, but it's just not the case, because there's so many people that are so good to us. And then I always feel this pressure to sort of make sure that I'm always there to support them as well. And sometimes when you miss one or two things, it can be like, oh no, why did I miss that? I really wish I could have watched that YouTube video or been in that live stream just to do a few comments, or
Yep.
It's impossible, really, isn't it? But you have to be hard on yourself as well, because if you're not, why am I coming up with all these cheesy liners today? This just isn't me. I'm not one of those people, right, with all these kind of little words of wisdom. But if you're not hard on yourself, and then I don't think you ever really achieve anything. So you've got to put pressure on yourself.
Absolutely.
And do your best to support everyone as much as you can.
Absolutely. I've always lived and thought by the principle of evolve or die, because ultimately, if you're stagnant in life, if you're stagnant in what you're doing, then the passion's gone, the care's gone, and you're no longer evolving, you're no longer growing, you're no longer contributing. You have now just idly become something that is now waiting for the clock to run out. As bleak as that sounds, but that is how I view things. And honestly, if you just historically look at human society as a whole, when people no longer have something to live for, well, it's not long after that they no longer are living. And it's just, it is one of those things. It's constantly pushing, constantly making yourself better, and bettering everything else around. And it's very clear that y'all are able to do that, because not only can I speak to the fact that the growth of the overall Chilihead community as a whole, but the League of Fire community continues to grow. Y'all have tons of new contenders that are jumping in and, coming out of left field. It's like, hey, who's this person? Where did they come from? And let me learn more about them. And that's inspiring to see. And it's great to see and hear as this continues to grow. How has that experience been for you?
I don't know, really. It's quite organic, I can give you examples, like we went to earlier in the year in the UK, in Portsmouth. Annie Bowyer came over, and Carmela. So she came from America, and Carmela came from Italy, and they did World's Hottest Kits, and that was for Guinness. And they smashed the record. Whether or not Guinness gives it to them, who knows? I don't think that. From my knowledge, Annie's gone through the process without having to pay thousands of pounds. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And I don't think she's got a contact, inside. So we'll see what happens. But truth be told, they smashed that record, and they did it in front of so many witnesses. It's complete and utter certain that they are the world record holders for the world's longest habanero kits. Now, at that festival, we met a young couple, and I got chatting to them. And next thing you know, they're flying to Italy to do their first ever, chili eating contest at Diamante. Stephanie Garcia she's Colombian actually, and she flew over to the UK, and then she continued on to Italy. And then Zach Pepper, who's actually a Welsh guy, and I was like, wow, I love it. We just explained to them what we did. I managed to sit down with them, at that festival, explain to them, and that's, and the next thing you know, they're competing. And I think that we'll probably see them again. It's a great little story, and that excites me. There's always side effects, like initially the belt matches, right, were supposed to be kind of a way of like finding new chili heads. And so it wasn't supposed to be like professional level, the belt matches, but then things grew quickly, right? And it kind of became professional level. I suppose one of the side effects of having like new people come and do the belt matches is that, sometimes we might have to lower the heat levels a little bit. And in our subculture that exists, I love the fact that things have got very sort of geeky, if you like, and kind of people scrutinize things. And that's one of the things that I've noticed that people are saying, that belt match, they started with a jalapeno. That belt match, they started with a ghost pepper or whatever,
Yeah.
So, it's difficult, but I still want to keep this going the way it is because it's just helping grow. And we need to do everything we can, right, to burst out of the bubble that is on, I think Facebook's our main sort of social media platform. There's a bubble there. Yep. I want to keep those people. I want to keep everyone that's got the chili, competitive chili eating in their heart. I also want to go out and find new people and bring them in,
Yeah.
We want to make that bigger, and that's exciting. So that's just one example. I mentioned Darina, didn't I, from Bulgaria?
Uh-huh.
We went to the Chili Fest in Bulgaria, and I remember Sando, who organises the event, he owns Chili Hills Farm. And that weekend, Darina and her boyfriend, Tisso, they came and they were like, we really want to meet Shahina, the UK chili queen. And Sando was like, oh, who are they? I don't know who they are. That's great. They're here and they're waiting for you, Shahina. And I think that night, Shannon was so tired, she actually sort of almost passed out at about 11 o'clock at night. And so they were there with Sando and they got talking. Fast forward a year, and Darina is now like on TV with him promoting this year's event. And she's been in like 2 or 3 chili eating contests around Europe. So these are the stories that really get the juices flowing. These are the things that keep me excited and keep us sort of motivated to keep the wheels turning on this thing.
Absolutely. And, something you had mentioned there, it is a, not a, certainty that no matter what a League of Fire event, no matter where it's at, hosted around the world, is it going to have the UK Chili Queen? And so the Houston match is definitely blessed to have her there and to be able to have that whole meet and greet aspect be able to come into play. But it's also interesting, as you were saying, the aspect of having newcomers come in that have little to no knowledge of kind of the battles and the things that she's been able to accomplish. It's super cool because the second that they meet her and you get a little bit of a background, they're going to be able to dive into all the prior matches and really get to enjoy and immerse themselves in the lineage that is League of Fire, and obviously all of her lineage of everything that she's been able to accomplish, challenges, different competitions, etc. And so it does help kind of spark and motivate and kind of give people perspective of like, because walking in, you're brand new, you just look around and you're like, okay, there's spicy challenges, people can do this, people cannot do this, but then you really get to see how the whole thing fits together and plays together. And you start to appreciate where it is now by kind of looking back to where everything started. So it's very exciting and cool to see, and I'm thrilled to know that there's going to be a lot of people that will be vendoring at this Houston Hotheads competition, and it's going to be a lot of these people are friends and people that I'm cheering on and rooting for to continue to have continued success. and to be able to watch them and have them watch watch the competition, see what it's really about. It's going to bring not only another level for those that are just witnessing, but for those that are, creatives. They're making these sauces, they're making these products. Now they're going to see the different framework in which they can maybe start catering certain products to or helping design products for. And it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Plus spicy treats, spicy drinks, all these great things that are going to be available at the Hotheads Expo. So it's going to be so much fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. This one at Social Beer Garden. I must just quickly say, Julian's just been amazing. He's the owner of Social Beer Garden, and he's really like, as soon as we landed, asking us like, can we help you with anything? Welcome, welcome, being so nice. But yeah, this one at the Social Beer Garden, there's going to be, I think, 4 or 5 people in this one who are not in the Facebook groups, who haven't done like lots and lots of challenges, and I'm really excited about that. I think that we can see it could be next year's superhero. We're going to meet them tonight. Friday night.
Yep.
I'm a bit of jet lag still.
No, you're
so
good.
It's only Thursday today. Tomorrow night. These kind of things really, just to bounce off what you said, that does really excite me. And I can't believe we're in Houston. It's crazy. We're in Houston. This is the first time there's been a Houston belt match.
Yeah. No, I think Texas is big enough that I think that there is justification to have multiple belts. I mean, it's a state that you can drive 13, 14 hours and still not be out of. You try to replicate the same thing in any other part of the world, and you're crossing countries maybe once, maybe twice, maybe a whole bunch of times. So it's pretty wild.
You can probably get a few Englands in Texas for sure. I think it's about the same size as France. I think I read that somewhere. That's not me being like Mr. Big Head Brainy. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. But but going back to the other thing that you were saying, like about Shenna and the lineage, I think the whole ethos that we've got is just to pass the baton, to pass it on. I mean, I know that I'm biased, okay? And so I'm going to be like always saying great things about Shenna and Matt and League.of.Fire and anyone that sort of supports us. But social media is a good gauge of what's going on, really, because she could literally, she posts a photo of herself and she'll get like 200-300 likes on it on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And she probably does that once every blue moon. The idea is, if you look on these things, what's happening is these people that are coming to these belt matches, we're trying to learn about them. We're trying to get them to do videos. We're trying to get them to have a profile. A bit like your WWF, innit? WWE. I'm a little bit old. And they've all got like their superhero names. I've got the one guy the other day. I've never met him before or seen him in any Facebook groups. And he's the master of Scoville. Oh, no, the mayor of Scoville. I love it, And they've got these. And so what we're doing is we're trying to, I think really Shenna's a great example of someone who's kind of pushed herself a little bit backwards and trying to use everything she's created to build up everyone else. And that's the way that the sport is going to grow. If we stop doing that, we're going to fight a losing battle for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the perfect example of someone that is there to help foster the growth, to add to instead of take away. I mean, there's too many times in society these days, everyone's kind of egocentric and they focus on them type of an aspect instead of cheering on and fostering the growth of whether that be a competitor next to you, the overall space, whatever it may be. And sure, it's fun to have the little playful banter of like, I'm gonna take this all, or what have you. But there's a difference between the playful banter and just the more negative animosity that can arise as human nature. And so for her to be able to, be in a position that sure, she could just continue to plow through so much, right? And accomplish so many great things, but to be able to focus on really nurturing the space and helping it grow and bring that positive light, like that is great to see. And it's just, it is what's needed, what's lacking in this world, if you will. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah. She doesn't. I don't think she even realizes, to be honest. She's sometimes I say, look, are you nervous or whatever? There's people coming, especially to meet you at this event or that event, and she doesn't really. I don't think she understands. She's. I don't think she's got any ego. That I can see it straight up every day, 24/7. And I think sometimes you do need an ego. Like when we do something like this, we need those people that want to rise to the top and beat everyone and win. The Hulk Hogan's of the chili eating world. But like we also need people that can put on that kind of persona. And deep down, they've got to understand that we're ahead of the curve. This isn't a global mainstream sport yet, and so we deep down we need to help each other.
Yeah.
And it's not always the case. And I don't want this to get negative. All right, this stream will not get negative, but there are people out there that I almost feel like some people have really abused, exploited everything we've done, Trojan horse, that's whatever you want to call it. There's people out there that have really, behind the scenes tried to bring us down. But it's almost like a tough battleship, isn't it? It's been through those stormy waters and it's gone round. That little bit of water by Antarctica and Argentina it's called Drake's Passage. You're not meant to go down there, right?
Yep.
They built the canal to avoid that place. We've been through there. We've had people digging away at us. And now we're like, I'm pretty sure that the ship's not ever going to sink,
Yeah.
After what we've been through.
And perfect example to that. I mean, ultimately, you have that saying that imitation is the utmost definition of flattery, because really, if they're not imitating you or they're not trying to chip away at you, etc., then, do you have something that you're fighting for that makes other people a little bit envious, right? Not that you want everyone to be that way, but at least you're on a certain track that others they see value in, right? I guess that's the most positive way to look at that, and to keep it framed in the right light. So, yeah, I mean,
I tried to joke about it, mate. Honestly, in 2019 we brought out the world title chili eating belt, right? Now, in the chili, these chili events, there's more belts than Burlingtons now. I'm telling you, and it's great. People like you understand, right? League.of.fire kind of they started that whole thing off, but there are people out there that don't realise. So it's sad. All this stuff, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and it's all very well. That's nice. It makes you feel a little bit better, but it's still, for the want of a better word, it does piss you off when people copy you and try and get a cheap ticket, to the front of they're trying to jump the queue, aren't they? Come and speak to us, talk to leagueoffire, we'll work together. We can help each other. But, there's even I remember seeing one festival now, and no, actually, I'm getting a bit negative here. This is the only time I'm going to do this. There's one organisation, right? They called us up, picked our brains, and we need to work with you in all this. They picked our brains, and then we never heard from them again. And their whole festival, when they were building up their festival, they came out with their own little poster. It looked exactly like ours. There's people that they were reaching out to with little chili names as well, just like the leagueoffire community have these names. And then there was a belt, and then it was just wow, these people. But I've got to put my big boy pants on, as Jared Farmer J. Smith said. That's one of his lines, isn't it? I like that.
Yep.
You got to grow up. You got to man up and just get on with it. That is the world we live in. So that's how it is.
And I mean, it's the same to, I guess, apply an analogy to that. Obviously you could use this with the WWE, or as I remember at the WWF whenever I was watching it. But you have the main circuit, right? As with any sports, we'll put it this as sports as well. You have your main circuit, the pinnacle of where everyone wants to be. And then you have the feeder teams that kind of are your priming stages to get there. So, I mean, view it as you will, but in my mind, it ultimately comes down to these are the feeders to the main circuit. And, maybe if people will feel a little bit comfortable, they try out one of these, farm teams, if you will, to get there and then get back onto the main stage. And so I think looking at it in the light of there's passionate chili heads trying to get plugged into whatever they can, that would then lead them to be exposed to find out more about what's going on. So, definitely,
absolutely. Absolutely. Just to change the subject, right?
Yeah.
A little birdie told me something really exciting, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk to it. So edit this out if we can't. So danger, putting your body on the line. Are you allowed to talk
Uh-huh.
about what you're going to do? Because I
Well,
really think that's so interesting at
well,
Houston.
that's where I was debating whether or not to drop that tonight or if I was going to drop that tomorrow. But since it's brought up, I will definitely go ahead and roll with it because what's the difference between now till tomorrow? Not too much, right?
It's very
So
interesting. I love the whole idea. I really do.
yeah, well, it's so if anyone's been watching, listening, having a blast with some of the more informational solo episodes, and I've talked about it a little bit with guests, etc. I've tried to take the approach and thought of, well, do what you preach, right? So the idea, the concept behind this is flat out. I have not been as people have been watching the podcast the last month, 2 months. I have not been. I haven't really been plugging in hot or not segments, and when I do, it's like 1 or 2 bottles, and it's obviously a tablespoon here, a tablespoon there isn't going to do much in the realms of overall tolerance or maintaining tolerance. So, really, the last major big push was probably somewhere around the time frame of the last Dallas belt match. And so what I have taken the approach of is how far and how much can mental fortitude, reframing of the situation itself, and being able to keep your calm, cool, collected breathing through the competition. Like how, first of all, first question into this scientific experiment is how much does tolerance hold over a span of time? And there's been quite the span of time. The second is how much can the mental fortitude aspect, all that framework that I mentioned before, how much can that play into effect? And then third, how much does just your overall desire and drive to get something accomplished come into effect? So I will be entering into this overall belt match with no prior training, if you will, not really pushing myself, not really doing anything, a little bit of hot sauce with a meal here and there, but I mean a lengthy strip of just absolutely nothing as far as training, as far as how I normally eat and carry on about my days. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, well, I guess I'll go ahead and officially announce it now. I will be participating on the Dallas belt match as well. And here's the thing. It's roughly, if I remember correctly, 29 or 28 days after this Houston belt match tomorrow night. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, right after the Houston one, enjoy a nice weekend with my wife because it's our 8-year wedding anniversary. So I'm going to focus on that first. And then once I get back and in the swing of things, it is going to be train until the Dallas belt match. And so it's going to give me the outlook and understanding of what does tolerance drop, how much, versus how much does it help to train for somebody that's already been there before. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I look forward to it.
Oh, excellent. And so you're going to live stream it and record it and share that on your channel, sort of in parts maybe, or because it'd be great, to get an update from you after the Spicy Dada event in Houston.
Yep.
And then, of course, after Gary Smith's in Winsborough, that would just be fantastic. And if you can sort of try and remember exactly how you feel all the way through. But I'm feeling a bit nervous for you, going into a chili contest with nothing but a black coffee. I mean,
well, that's just I've
not even any cream in the coffee.
Nope. I don't like anything in my coffee. I mean, as I have here, this is just a nitro cold brew, but it's I absolutely. I've found out over the years the times that I've tried to prep my stomach ahead of time, the burn is way worse for me personally. Plus, the overall after effects are amplified tenfold than the times whenever I enter in and I have nothing on the gut. So, with this being a 5 o'clock start tomorrow. Obviously, I'll probably have had lunch earlier in the day, but that will be pretty much it. So there's going to be nothing there but a cup of coffee. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. It definitely, thinking back to some of the craziest pushes that I've done, I've always entered in with nothing on the gut. The times that I've tried to prep and do all the things that needed, I find myself, I guess, more or less mentally clinging on to the idea that these little comfort blankets should help me. And so mentally, by removing those, I no longer feel like I should lean on something else. It's more drawing upon my own will and determination.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. And I tell you what, it's going to be good to meet you in person as well.
Absolutely.
It's
I
going to
look
be
forward
so
to it.
nice, and we can have a good old chin wag. But I'm going to be nervous. I hope we got a telephone number for the ambulance so they can.
I'll be fine on that. I'll be fine. The
I
issue
know.
is really, so I'm going to, for all those that are watching and listening, I'm going to be mic'd up for the event. Haven't really determined if I'll have the camera directly in front of me or not. Obviously, as with the Winsboro one, I am not one to care to try to even remotely hold anything in. If tears start flowing, if mucus starts flowing, I just keep it going and don't try to wipe it. Don't try to do nothing. So it'll be rather graphic, I'm sure, but it'll be a fun time. Last year with the Dallas belt match, I had the mic sitting here. So as I'm chewing, as I'm talking through, I was giving. If you start to look back at it, I was giving overall notes of like, oh, this was a little bit sweet. This one was extra bitter. Or, ooh, I didn't like the flavor on that. Or this one just kind of hit a little bit different. So expect to hear that on there. Obviously, the second the event's over, like if it goes like how it did last time, I'll have a brief time to kind of talk a little bit to everyone that's been watching for just a little bit, and then I'll end up taking that off, and then obviously being with those that are present with me, just out of sheer respect of those that are there, right? But it is going to be an absolute fun time, and yes, I will be giving a recap of what I thought happened, how I experienced it, what I think I could have done better, or maybe if have some kind of like mental moment where I let something else kind of break through that normal fortitude. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've been here before. I know what to expect. And honestly, as I've mentioned numerous times, a lot of this comes down to, can you get out of your own way to make this thing happen? And so that's what I'm going to be putting to the test. Can I get out of my own way? Can I do what I want to do without worrying about what my body is trying to tell me that is not actually happening?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be happening at the Social Beer Garden, everybody. And it's like Social Beer Garden. It's like it's on the main road that goes right into downtown in Houston. If you're in central Houston, around that area, it's like in an Uber, it'll be $5. It's literally just, or you could walk it, but let's face it, who walks these days? We all get Ubers now. Get an Uber, jump in, come and watch Brandon suffer. He's eating peppers without any prep.
Yep,
this
absolutely.
is unbelievable. It's pretty, it's pretty spectacular. And Social Beer Garden, and we're going to kick off at 5 o'clock, and then there's going to be lots of entertainment, drinks, loads of good people to talk to. I'm going to try and stay as late as I can. Bearing in mind, I've got to fly to Chicago the next morning, quite early doors. I hope everyone watching this comes. In fact, there's still time. Fly from wherever you are in America. You're in Alaska. Fly into Houston. Come and get some of this hot weather. I don't know if you like the movies, right? If you're watching this, but this is mise en scène. Look at this. See, this is Tarantino-esque. If you can see that, that says ice machine there. Ice machine. That's because it's so hot here. I have to sit next to the ice machine in the lobby just to get some of that steam every time it dispenses some ice. Yep. And he's not going to get any ice tomorrow. He's going to get peppers on an empty belly. So come and watch.
Absolutely.
Spicy Dada. I can't thank the people enough that have organised this. And you know what? That's a segue. Let me just quickly say.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the time limit on these, but obviously we don't want to go on too long. But America, yeah, honestly, it's kind of like when you think about it, the competitive chili eating, along with the UK, we kind of merged together. We married together. There's always been a special relationship. Let's face it, they even say it, don't they? The big dogs in the politics. And 2019, that's when the UK Chili Queen came over and had a match with Johnny Scoville. And then that's when the League of Fire started. Actually, it happened in London, but then she came back for the rematch. And then she came to Sacramento, took on Dustin Johnson, an absolute legend. And all together, like it fused together. And now we're here in 2025. We've had belt matches in Florida, ×2, Pinellas and Largo. We've got 1, 2 in Texas. We've got Pennsylvania, multiple. We've got Pittsburgh. We've got Blaze for the Brave in Gettysburg. This is where I get in trouble now because I miss one out and get into trouble. But what I'm saying is Boston Hot Sauce Fest, we've had that one. Tom Cornwell took the belt.
Chicago on the way.
This is where things are happening, right? Now, all of those people are going to come together and they're going to meet in Gettysburg as well. So you've got 2 weeks, is it? 2 weeks to get your tickets for Blaze for the Brave. And what I want to say, you know how I said about how all the chili eaters were all helping each other and everything? It's the same with the festivals, okay? We're all tapped into this network now. There's cross-pollination going on. There's people now traveling to different festivals in different parts of America where we've got League of Fire belt matches. So everything's growing. Everything's getting bigger and bigger. We've got a proper championship tournament network going on here. So this is fantastic. So exciting. And
Absolutely.
The next one is tomorrow night in Houston, downtown Houston.
Absolutely. And to the Blaze for the Brave call out and note there, just if you were curious whether or not you should make it out there, I'm going to go ahead and give you a nice little spoiler alert. You're going to have some vendors that are not from the United States attending and vending. So this is your chance to be able to pick up some amazing products. And one person in particular has phenomenal stuff that you cannot get here in the US. Very nice, unique approach. Very well done, very well executed, and definitely should check out that overall vendor lineup for Blaze for the Brave. It's going to be an absolute blast, and look forward to seeing how that one plays out. And I know just from kind of talking through the overall event, it's going to be a big event full of a great time and meeting tons of people from all over. So should be an absolute blast.
Who are those companies from outside of America? I don't want to put you on the spot because I know it's difficult sometimes to remember all the different names and companies, but...
No. Purple Tongue Hot Sauce in particular is the one that stands out to me because I know that I had heard that he was going to actually be there. He was going to be offering sauce, and apparently the overall manner in which of kind of getting everything here is I guess already been handled, or those waters have been navigated on how that's going to work out. But definitely head on over there. Check out Purple Tongue Hot Sauce because, I mean, the lineup of sauces that I've had the pleasure of trying are absolutely phenomenal. So definitely check those out.
You know what? Jason Pettibone, I tell you what, he's a natural. Like, we've been in touch with him a lot, and I can't believe it. Like, when he keeps telling me the next thing, look, everything he's achieved in organising this festival, I think he's a natural, like it won't be long until that guy takes over the world when it comes to festivals. He's going to have festivals everywhere. There's going to be a festival. There's going to be a Jason Pettibone Blaze for the Brave in Outer Mongolia in about 5 years, I reckon. He's taken over the world. So great, mate. Kudos to Jason Pettibone. Hard-working man. Fantastic family man. He's put a lot of his heart and soul into that. And Stockton belt match. I forgot the Stockton one, and that's called Marketing Psychology. Chad, if you're watching, I did that on purpose because now everyone's going to remember the Stockton belt match in California and forget about all the other ones. So I didn't forget you. I just saved you. So if you're in California, that's the only one on the West Coast. Like you guys, I think there's 4 people signed up. There's still places available, and that's in October. And if you win that one, you'll qualify for the America's belt match in 2026. So come to Stockton as well, you guys. That's another one, another belt match in the USA. I didn't forget, I saved it. So everyone remembers it. See what I'm doing?
There we go. I like it.
I got you.
I definitely like that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, something that overall was just mentioned, and I wanted to touch on was the overall growth that has really kind of come from it has been phenomenal because, as you're mentioning, you have all these others that are kind of coming in, stepping in, creating, these having these events kind of come together and create themselves in a very, seamless way, I guess, to say it the easiest, but it's not easy going in that sense. There's a lot of hard work, dedication, and thought that's been poured out into them. So to be able to see this continue to grow is awesome. Yes, more people, please get plugged in. If you're on the West Coast, you want to be there at that match. You want to be competing, and you want to make sure that you are the West Coast champion. I know that there's going to be already from those that have signed up. There's going to be a nice hearty competition out that way. So look forward to watching that belt match play out because that is going to be one for sure that it's going to be talked about for a while. I can already tell you now. So look forward to that 100%. It's fun times to think about all the ways in which these competitors have pushed themselves. But the most exciting, and as we've touched on before, is really the idea of new people coming into the scene, really sharing their love, their soul, their passion for what they're doing, and to encourage them along the way. Because some people may sign up for a competition. They may think one thing of it, find out a whole different thing, and that might be their jumping off spot. They're like, you know what? It's fun. I would rather be a spectator than a participator. But for those rare few that need that slight nudge, being able to be plugged in around other great individuals is that catalyst moment. I mean, as with most things in life, greatness that we see these days is, something that started out as just an idea, but that 1% nudge made this idea catapult to the greatness that you see today. And that's exactly what we're experiencing here. So love every bit of it.
I think that, you know what? There's one man actually that just popped in my head then when you said all that. And he's going to be on Sunday, he's going to be at the Terra Hook belt match. That is Stephen Fiery Kurgan. I mean, no better example, right? You remember when he
Oh, yeah.
came in? I actually watched the TV show, and then he came and he sort of got in touch and did a festival here and there. And if you remember at the beginning, he was like having like 4 or 5 super hots, and he was like,
Yep.
we were like, whoa! I hope there's a bucket around, and he's doing it in his house, and his kids are there, and you're like, whoa! They're going to get some nightmares seeing Daddy in pain. And now he's an absolute beast. And not just that, take away the competitive chili eating. I've seen photos of him in his garden, and he's got like pepper plants, and they're all like he's about 89 foot tall, right? And like he's taller than the Statue of Liberty, this guy. And then plants are coming over the top of him in his garden. He's growing. He's picking off these beauties. They're hummers. I mean, like they are beautiful, all like the bumps and gnarly looking, and all the Superhot 7 pots and all the rest of it. And he's a bona fide grower. And now I think I've heard a little birdie told me that he's going to start making some hot sauces. So, I mean, come on, there's no better example. And he's the world champion. He went all the way to South Africa and beat Gary Conkar. And Gary Conkar, right? He's an absolute beast. Like we knew all about him, but he's not been so much outside of South Africa. So we knew there's someone down there. We thought like the whole world would know. Like after that, we thought he's going to be tough for Stephen Kurgan. And Kurgan went and pushed him, and they got through. And wow! So when you were saying all that, all of a sudden, that big ginger monster, Stephen Fire Red Kurgan, he's popped in my head. That's what it does. That's what the chili community does. You're hearing something, and boom, you get someone pop in your head. That's what I love about it. And he's a great example of the journey that can be so much fun for so many people. A lot of potential.
Absolutely. And someone, not someone in particular, but a group of people that help facilitate these events all around the world that I feel like don't get enough love are those growers that help fuel the overall competition. So with Houston, you have Spicy Data providing the peppers. Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. I believe it's just him. And then all around
Yeah.
you have the Primo Wrecking Crew and, just different, depending on where you're at in the world, you're having different growers come together. And that is the greatest part because you get to showcase not only what that grower or set of growers are doing and what they're able to crank out, but now you're starting to see different varieties, different strands from all around the world that may not have had that exposure and that limelight now getting that spot. And that is so cool to see. And I can't wait to watch as more growers get tapped in and they start to explode and they start to have, continued success because ultimately the more the growers continue to grow and all the great creations roll out, competitors get to burn their faces off, product makers get to find out who they need to be in touch with, and the continuation of the community just keeps perpetually feeding itself and growing. The flame gets bigger.
Yeah, you've had Clint Mayer on, haven't you? He's been on your show about a month ago. Check him out, everyone. But he's another person that popped in my head then when you were talking, just popped in. He grows some of the best peppers and down in New Zealand, and he's a big Troy Primo enthusiast. He grows some really beautiful big mummers and 7 pots down there. So there's another guy, and he actually arranges all the festival as well. So he does a lot, So yeah, like you said, mate, just to echo your sentiments, the growers are vital. The Wrecking Crew is obviously legendary, and there are so many people who also grow and provide for these things. Obviously, earlier in the year we had Al Britton's help out because it was so early, and he was in Florida, and he was able to provide the peppers for the Pinella's belt match. And it's just everyone sort of working together, helping each other, and hopefully they get a bit of exposure, and they can actually. The idea is hopefully they actually can sell a few boxes of peppers, to the general public on the back of these things. That's the dream, anyway. I hope they can benefit in more ways than one from not just for the pleasure and joy, but everyone's got bills to pay as well, right? So that's the ultimate goal, really. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, very well said. I do want to go ahead and, obviously there's no need for a nugget of knowledge, but what we will do is if you wanted to nominate somebody, this is your chance to put someone on the hot seat. So you can roll with that. And then from there, we can go straight into the overall, any kind of announcements. Obviously, we have the upcoming belt matches and everything. So if you want to plug away any of those or anything else that you have going on.
Do you know what? I always mess up on this bit. Have we had Brad from Spicy Dada on here yet?
Yeah. So he's been on just recently, probably 2 or 3 episodes ago, and then before that, probably about a year or so.
It's always happened to me when you ask me this.
No, you're fine.
It's difficult to catch up with. Do you know what? At Christmas, I'm going to binge. And like people do that with the Karate Kid or whatever on Netflix.
Yeah.
Binge the swear word. Let me see. What about Craig McCulloch? I bet you've had him on, right?
Who?
He's the organizer of the Wabash Valley Chili and Hot Sauce Expo.
No, I have not.
Have you not had him on yet?
No.
This guy's amazing. I tell you what, I've worked, but Sheena, Matt, and me have been working alongside him. Now, if you want to talk about someone who's enthusiastic and understands like the sport of chili eating, and he's really, and obviously this is his first ever event, right? This is the Terra Hoot belt match that we're going to be doing on Sunday, right? Please get him on, and maybe you can get him on after the event, and then he can do a bit of a review as well. But I'm thinking like what he's probably been through in the last month or two, just arranging this thing, would make great content. I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear it. And obviously, he might not want to give all his secrets away, but I'm sure that he might be able to give us a little bit here and there, a little few nuggets. He's a very intelligent, very hard-working man. And I think he is going to be a big benefit to the chili community. He's already a massive benefit to League of Fire. So that'd be great if you can get him on, mate.
All right. Well, I'll arrange a time to have him on. And it sounds like it would be a great segue into kind of seeing how the overall festival went and everything that kind of went into it. And so I definitely look forward to having him on. And so now we have the Hotheads HTX Expo coming up tomorrow night, September 26th from 5 to 10 p.m. So head on out there for that. And then, of course, as mentioned, there is the Terra Hoot Expo expo that's going to be going on, pepper competition. Hopefully I said that right. But it is going to be another great thing to get tapped in, plugged in. Of course, all of these will be streamed one way or another on the League of Fire, etc. Or you'll find somebody in the community that will be streaming it to the overall group. So definitely plug in, have fun, see what it's all about. If you're close enough, if you can jump on a plane and make it happen, you're going to have fun. I'll be out there on the Houston side of things. Come out, say hi, meet and greet, have a great time. And of course, you get to witness firsthand the overall science experiment that will be initiating, if you will, at that point. And I guess to that note, something that I didn't get to say because I forgot about it is just probably about 6 days ago, I started thinking about it. One thing I struggle the most with is it doesn't matter if it's spicy food or not. Eating anything when my body temperature is already high is extremely hard for me. So what I've decided to start doing a few days ago was spend 20, 30 minutes, a day in a sauna and just starting to get used to the fact of being already, accustomed to that heat. So, yeah.
Just come to Houston, mate. You don't need a bloody sauna. It's boiling here. I'm about to go back in the ice room behind me. I've got the door open. I'm walking in there, shutting the door. I'm getting ice. No one can see. It's a tiny little room. I'm going to get naked and put ice all over me. It's going to be a party. If anyone wants to come, actually don't. That was all bull S, by the way, what I just said. None of that was true. All the trolls out there. I'm not going to go in there and get naked in a hotel. Don't send the police.
Yep. No worries. Okay. All right. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Look forward to having you back on. Obviously, talking about the other upcoming events and everything you have going on, and also recapping everything that we've touched on here today. So, absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for being here.
I don't know if we can do a live tomorrow, maybe on the swear word. That'd be fun. We can have a little walk around. Yeah. So we'll probably see you tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
You might see me again, everyone, on the swear word. You're probably sick of me by now. It's going to be bloody hot as well, so you see me sweat tomorrow in live stream at Spicy Dada at the Social Beer Garden in Houston.
All right. Well, thank you again, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Paul, thank you so much for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. As I've mentioned numerous times, if you're going to be in the Houston area or if you're close by and want to come on out, watch a great spectacle of, competitors up there on the stage. This is the first ever League of Fire Houston, Texas belt match. So come on out, have fun, grab yourself some spicy cocktails, grab some spicy food, grab some great different hot sauce from local vendors that will be there on scene, ready to go. There's going to be some AC. There's going to be some outside aspect. It's going to be a great time from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Friday, September 26th. Look forward to seeing you all. Definitely look forward to meeting everyone there. And if you're unable to make it out, I will be mic'd up, ready to go during the overall event. So you can kind of hear how the whole thing's playing out for me, how everything is going. And it should be a great time. And definitely, as mentioned before, we'll see how this plays out between no preparation, no training, no nothing, to then rolling into another competition 28, 29 days later and actually putting in some work and some training. So, as always, look forward to every single person that is able to tune in, share this out with others, continue to share this out with other like-minded chili heads or individuals that are curious about the world of hot. This is where you can find everything to do with the world of hot. And hey, don't forget, new episodes drop every Tuesday and Thursday, and we have spots open for sponsorship. So if you are wanting to become a sponsor of the Swear Word podcast, this has, great opportunity for brand exposure, as well as being able to, have a sponsored segment within the podcast show. So reach on out, whether on social media or through the website, and we will get that conversation going. As for our current sponsors, podvision.io, if you're looking to grow your brand, start your brand, you've hit a bump in the road, you're trying to figure things out, highly recommend checking out podvision.io for all of those needs, as well as webdx.one. Maybe you have an online site, maybe you had somebody at one point, you lost contact with them, highly recommend checking out webdx.one. They make it simple, painless, and easy, and best of all, you get to focus on what you do best while they get you looking great online. I'm Brandon Swear, and from everything from the world of hot, this has been The Swear Word.